Okay, class, fine. Okay, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very happy good evening to everyone. Right? Hoping you all are doing well, and welcome to our day three of this beginner to advanced SQL series. Okay, fine. Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned yesterday. The class yesterday we went deep into understanding the different DDL commands, those commands of PLSQL or of SQL which allows us to define the data in the database or in the table, like whether it was a create command or it was a insert, I'm sorry, not insert, whether it was create or it was an alter query or it was a drop query. Is that okay? The session today is for exclusively understanding what are constraint into depth. Okay, a very deep exploration and understanding of constraint. This class is very important. In fact, you should remember these topics throughout your full stack career. Okay, and these constraints are not just limited to PLSQL. You need to remember them for your MySQL SQL or for PostGRE or even any other kind of backend which you are connected to, maybe Flask or maybe Django, those who are Python frameworks, libraries. Everywhere you need to keep remember, you need to understand the concept of constraint because this logic is going to remain same. Only what will differ is going to be the syntax. Is that okay? Fine. Okay, so let me put up this way in front of you. Okay, we are talking about we are talking today about constraints. Okay, now Oracle, or let me say PLSQL supports. Okay, now since I'm talking about SQL, I'm talking about PLSQL. Anything that you want to say, it supports following types of constraint. First one, primary key, then foreign keys. Okay, what are these constraint? Constraint are some kind of rule imposed on the column. आई होप यू गॉट माई पॉइंट. ओके, किसी तरह का रूल, किसी तरह का प्रोटोकॉल जो हम कॉलम पर या कॉलम के डेटा पर फोर्स करके लागू कर देते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज कंस्ट्रेंट. इंग्लिश मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड कंस्ट्रेंट पीपल. Say I want to come to college tomorrow, but there are some constraints. Am I right? I want to leave for my home from office, but there are some constraint. Is that fine? Right? तो कुछ अड़चन है, किसी तरह के बीच में हर्डल है. So these are actually some kind of अड़चन or hurdles only, but for some good purpose. Clear? Right? So these are some kind of rules imposed on the columns. Imposed on the columns of the table. ठीक है, some kind of rules which are imposed, लागू कर दिया जाता है on the columns of the table. So primary key, foreign key, and that is called as null not null constraint or not null. Then comes your default constraint. Then comes your check constraint, and how can you forget there is something called as a unique key constraint also. Everyone, so let us start this way. Let me start from primary key. Say I want to create a table student. I don't know whether student exists or not. Let me say drop student if it exists. Drop table. Acha, it does not exist only. Very good. So I want to create a table student with just two columns, roll number and name, or maybe class, the third column. Okay, so let me say roll number, which is an integer. Let me say name of the student, this is varchar. That's it. Now you see this table has no constraint, so I start inserting rows into it. Roll number 1, this is Mr. John, and roll number 2 is Mr. Jack. Roll number 3, this guy is Wilson. But by mistake, instead of changing roll number from 2 to 3, I forgot and I continued the query with 2 only. It accepted. Is that okay? It shouldn't have happened because there can be two boys or two girls by the same name, but roll number should be unique among students, correct? So in case if you see now, I select all the data from student table. Okay, so these two roll numbers have come out to be same. Okay, Jack is also roll number 2 and Mr. Wilson is also roll number 2. तो ये दो नंबर तो भाई सेम आ गए. क्या करें? What to do in that case? Listen, I can easily alter the table, but as of now I'm creating a new table. Will come to alter shortly. Okay, so this was not fair. Let me create a new table. Say create table student new, again with the column roll number which is an integer, so that I don't repeat the same roll numbers in different rows. I repeat, so that we don't repeat wahi roll number in different rows, we declare this column to be primary key. Now remember, there are two ways to declare primary key. This syntax is valid for your PLSQL also, and it works for your MySQL workbench also. I repeat the point again. Two methods to declare a column as a primary key. This is method number 1. Writing the keyword primary key right during definition of the column. Huh? Right during definition of the column. Hold on, I'm checking into some comments here in case if any. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, yes, my friend, you can join that. Who says you know? Everyone can join. All of you? Fine. I come back to the point. Method number 1, if you are declaring a primary key, write during column definition. The roll number is a column that you are defining. So I write this column as a primary key. Another column name in the table. This is a string of the size 10. Enter. Now try to insert the data with same roll numbers. So I say insert into student new these values. Roll number 1, Mr. John. Roll number 2, again Mr. John. Let me set the two boys by the name John. Roll number 3 is Mr. Jack. But I forgot to change this number, for example, 2 say 3, from 2 to 3, and I say enter. So this time that data was not accepted. Primary key is a constraint here, hurdle है वो बीच में. It did not allow the two roll numbers to be same and entered in the table. I hope you got my point. Is that okay? Ma'am, can we display all the tables in PLSQL using command line like show tables? Yes, Yuvraj, you can. I will show you how to do that. Okay, all the tables present here. You can't say show table, just say show, select star from tab. Select star from tab. Is that okay? Coming back to the point. Everyone alert, be alert here. This was first method to create a primary key. Keep making notes. When you're attending the class, keep making your notes. What is this first method definition? How it is created? Right during column definition. Okay, fine. Now suppose I don't want this column to be primary key. Okay, I'm trying to insert this row, but it is not accepting. Suppose for some reason I don't want this column to be a primary key. So what you can do is alter this table. Alter table student new. And simply write drop name of the constraint which you want to drop. Say I want to drop primary key from this table student new. Okay, primary key in the table is only one. My friends who are present here. Primary key in the table is only one. So when you say drop primary key, of course, that one primary key which is available would only be dropped. Is that okay? Fine. You will shortly come to know that there are some other constraint which can be more than one. तो वहाँ पर ये दिक्कत दे सकता है. But primary key is assured. It is guaranteed to be only one. Table cannot have more than one primary key. So while altering that table to delete the primary key, of course that one primary key which is available will only be dropped. Okay, so let me say enter. The table is altered, and this row which was getting refused to be inserted now can easily be inserted. Okay, next roll number Wilson. Agla roll number again say Mr. Raj. So now if you say select star from student new, there are so many people who have the same number. Is that okay? Somebody acknowledge you understood. What did I show you? Quick. How to declare primary key and how to delete the primary key using alter. आप हाँ ना बोलेंगे हम तो ये आगे पढ़ेंगे. This was the first method to create a primary key, to declare the primary key right during column definition. Okay, somebody say yes or no. Only then I can go ahead. Ayush, then there is Crown Brothers. There's 2 3 people I can see here. Hurry up, people. Hurry up. I'm waiting. You understood? If you have not understood, let me say no. Write no in the chat section so that I come to know what to repeat and what not to repeat. Okay, I shall keep waiting for your response here. Second method to declare a primary key. Those who have joined late, come here. We are learning constraint, and the first constraint we are learning is a primary key. Now, second method to create a primary key is like this. Look. So I say create table student again. Okay, create table student again. I want roll number, a column which is an integer, name, a column which is varchar. Maybe I want class, which is also a string. Getting it? After you have declared all the column, जब सारे column table में आपने बना डाला, give comma, write the keyword constraint, give some name to the constraint. Say the name of my constraint is P1, or whatever name of your choice you want to give. Give some name that makes sense. This is just for beginner purpose. P1, A1, Q1. Okay, say P1. And what type of constraint this is? Say primary key. In the round bracket, out of 3 columns, the name of the column which you want to declare as a primary key. Is it class? So write primary key class. If it is roll number, so write primary key roll number. If you want this guy, the second column to be the primary key, write its name in this round bracket. Clear? Everybody? So I want this particular column roll number to be the primary key. Fine, this syntax works for your MySQL also, MS SQL server also. ये syntax SQL का हर जगह काम करता है. First method to declare the column as a primary key. My friends who have joined late here, write during column definition in the table. मतलब ठीक इधर ही बता डालना. Hurry up. ठीक इधर ही बता देना. Say primary key. This is method number 1. Second method is when you want to name the constraint and create it. Okay, कभी ऐसे भी होता है when you want to name the constraint and create it. Say the primary key which I am creating, not only I want to declare a primary key, but I also want to give some name to that primary key. So in that case, after all the columns have been created, in the end write constraint, give some name to the constraint. Okay, and what type of constraint P1 is? It is primary key. Using which column this primary key has been declared, roll number, and hit enter. I hope you got my point. Did I miss anything? Okay. Anyone? Fast. What is the error? Quick, who will answer? There is some error here. I highlight something. Check this, check this. There is some error here. Fast. Anshu, Ayush, Crown Brothers. This is the name I read. Yuvraj. Anybody? What is the error here? Quick, quick. Before I go to troubleshoot that. There's an error in the query. What is that? We forgot to declare the size with varchar. Correct? So again 10. Alright. So I say enter. Okay, let me clear the screen and write it on a neat screen. Class also varchar 10. This is constraint P1, which is a primary key. primary key. Let me check this way. Okay, I think that is not a problem. That is okay. Primary key. Spelling of constraint is wrong. Constraint. Is that fine? Constraint, people. Of course, that was the big issue. The size of the string was not declared in varchar. वो तो error था ही. Another error which I spotted just. Typing mistake. Constraint spelling is wrong. Let's see if this is the only error. Okay, so table is created. Somebody acknowledge fast so that I can go ahead. Roll number size is missing. Perfect. Okay, so the two methods I showed you how to declare primary key. First one, write during column definition. Number two, but sometimes we want to name the constraint. In that case, after sare columns are created, last may use the keyword constraint. Name you want to set to that constraint. What type of constraint it is: primary key, foreign key, unique key, default key, check constraint, not null constraint. Got it? Followed by name of the column which you want that constraint to be. Everybody? So the table is created. Cross check roll number primary key बना भी के नहीं, एक बार check करिए. So I simply say insert into student again these values. Roll number 1 Mr. Raj. Is that okay? What happened? Okay, not enough values because the table has 3 columns: roll number, name and class. You're understanding the errors, right? Roll number, name and class. There are 3 columns, but we are inserting only 2 values. So not enough value is the error here. So let me say Raj. He is in first year engineering or first year BSc IT. Okay. Roll number 2 is Pooja, who is from third year. But I forgot to change this 1 to 2, and it tells me unique key constraint violated. That means it is sure that yep, that column has been created as a primary key. Correct? ठीक है. अभी second method का फायदा क्या है? I hope everyone understand Hindi here, right? I remembered some time ago there was an issue. Some of them were objecting not to speak in Hindi. Anyways, stop me in case if you don't understand. Let me know then. Okay, what is the advantage of creating constraint with name? It becomes easy to handle it using alter query like this. देखिए. So now I say, let me not clear my screen. Let me work here. Alter table. Which table? Student again. Drop constraint. Got it? Last time हमने क्या लिखा था? सिर्फ drop लिखा था. But this time I'm writing drop constraint. You created constraint here. Now where is that query gone? This is a constraint. If this is the syntax for constraint creation, so this will be the syntax in alter for constraint deletion. Got it? Alter table student drop constraint. Which constraint? Write the name of the constraint. Say P1. Enter and the table is altered. I hope you got my point. Everybody? Fine. So the two methods I show you. Help me write it quick here. Okay, we are talking about primary key right now. A lot of things can be spoken about the primary key. So first of all, create table. Say name of the table is A1. Column 1 is ID. Column 2 is name. Okay. So first method is write during declaration of the column. ID इधर बना, ठीक उसी के बगल में लिख दो प्राइमरी की. तो फ्यूचर में अगर ये टेबल को ऑल्टर भी करना रहा, हाउ विल यू ऑल्टर इन दैट केस? ऑल्टर टेबल A1, ड्रॉप प्राइमरी की. Is that okay? Everybody here? Fine. Now suppose, acha, second, before I come to the second method, otherwise I'll forget. Suppose I create a new table. Everyone help me. I create a new table. Say create table student final. ID, this is integer. Name, this is string. I say enter. I insert one row also. Student final. Say roll number 1 is Raj, 2 is Pooja, 3 is Wilson, so on. बट अभी मुझे याद आता है, अरे अरे वो आईडी को तो प्राइमरी की होना चाहिए था. You understanding? So you can even alter the table to add a primary key. Clear? See, two ways I show you. All my friends present here should be able to understand. You got my problem? I created the table, but now I realize ये तो primary key होना चाहिए था. So two ways you can alter here. Help. Alter table, student final, in which modify the column ID as primary key. You have to give the data type. Huh? Whenever you are modifying the column, make sure you always mentioning the data type. So modify this column ID who was integer as primary key. Everybody clear? ये कॉलम को मॉडिफाई करो हाउ एज अ प्राइमरी की एंटर टेबल ऑल्टर्ड okay you check later you check it I hope that part you will do now I'm dropping this again drop primary key because primary key is only one of course the one which is available will be dropped is that okay another way you can alter the table is alter table student final add constraint you understood exactly the same syntax which I wrote up add constraint suppose name of the constraint is my pk my primary key okay this which type of constraint this is going to be the primary key and which table in the column you want to add this constraint for I'm sorry which column in this table इस table का कौन सा column भाई which column of this table you want to add a constraint for as a primary key so that is id is that okay fine so in case if you have forgotten to declare a primary key these were the two ways you can do it alter table modify the column as a primary key or alter table add the constraint primary key sorry not foreign primary key with so and so syntax is that okay somebody say me yes or no in the chat section so that I can go ahead chat section में हाँ या ना बोल के बता दीजिए तो आगे बढ़ सकते हैं and in case if not understood then what is not understood make that also clear okay I shall keep waiting for an answer in the chat section I hope you understood two methods of declaring a primary key first one write during the column definition this is method number 1 okay second method what did I say second method after all the columns are created suppose this is another table a2 this also has id as integer name as a string varchar say varchar 10 okay there may be so many more columns last में you are writing constraint let me add here constraint check the spelling है इसकी वजह से error आया था पिछली बार बहुत देर हम उसमें पड़े रहे constraint what type of constraint suppose abc is the name of my constraint this constraint is a primary key and which column you want to set as a primary key that way right so in this case if you want to delete the constraint you can write alter table say to drop constraint whose name is abc is that fine everyone comfortable with primary keys how to add them different methods of adding them different methods with alter command to delete them or to modify them or to add them okay एक भी doubt आपने पूछा नहीं that means I declared you people have understood right this is a primary key now let's come something to let's come something to this constraint called as unique key okay now what is the difference between primary key and unique key you know first of all unique key cannot be null I'm sorry primary key cannot be null okay here I've mentioned that if I have the points handy fine otherwise I'll just read aloud and okay chaliye okay not present no problem difference number 1 primary key cannot be null unique keys can be null I hope you got my point okay null means what yesterday I told you zero that no it doesn't mean null zero is not null people zero hold value If you just enter a space, don't say space is a null data. No, space also has some value. It's not a null string. Null means there is no data only present. And it is presented by writing keyword null. Right? So unique keys mean null values are allowed. Primary keys don't allow. Number two, there is only one primary key in the table. Unique key can be many. Is that okay? What is the meaning of primary key? This is actually some unique information about that particular record. Say roll number 1, this number is unique roll number for the student, correct? No other student will have the same roll number. Then in that case, Raj says my Aadhaar number is also unique, my PAN number is also unique, my license is also unique, my passport is also unique, passport number. There's so many other identity about me which is unique. But primary key can be only one. How can I declare so many columns as unique in the table if they cannot be the primary key, correct? Right? So if primary key is one, don't worry, and you still want unique data, even with just one primary key, you still want more unique data which should not be duplicated, which should not be repeated. Then in that case, declare those columns as unique keys, not primary key. Okay, let me show you how. Let me show you how. Say, I say create table. Say name of the table is A1. Okay, ID, int, primary key, name, varchar. Now for some reason I want names also to be unique. Say this is a city table, people. Alright, this is a city table, and I want to keep all the city names to be unique. No two cities with the same name should be entered. Okay, so I try to make this column also as a primary key. So it straightforward gives me an error. Table can have only one primary key. Everybody? How can you have two primary keys here? No, but my demand is I want both the column के अंदर unique data only. So in that case, what can you do? Make this second guy unique key. Okay, this second guy make it a unique key. What happened? Okay, name is already in use. ये नाम का table already है. So no problem. Let me change the name of the table. Okay, you understood the error. It was not unique key. It is just unique. The table was existing, so I changed the name of the table. So now if I insert data into this table, say insert into city 1 values, say city number 1 Mumbai, city number 2 say New Delhi, and city number 3 by mistake I enter New Delhi only. No, unique constraint violated. The city New Delhi cannot be same. Is that okay? I know the primary keys are also different, people. See, they are unique 1, 2, 3. So this unique constraint is not violated in the first column. This unique constraint this time is violated in the second column. Is that okay? Because even the city names are now unique. How to delete that? How to delete that? Acha, before even deleting, even I'll come to that. Before even deleting, help me create one more table. So create table city new ID, which is a primary key of this table. Name of the city. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. So I say create table city new ID. This is integer and a primary key. Name, this is string and a unique key. Okay, then let me say pin code. Cities don't have pin code, so let me say state this city belong to. State this particular city belong to. This is also a unique key. Assume, otherwise state I cannot keep it as unique, but I for some reason I've left it as unique here. Okay, and I close this and I create it. So what happened here? See, insert into city new values. City number 1, say Mumbai. I'm writing in short, please understand that this city belong to the state Maharashtra. That means it is inserted. So what I wanted to show, a table can have more than two unique keys, correct? आपको हम क्या बताना चाह रहे थे यहाँ पे? This gave me error while creating more than one primary key, but there is no issue if a table can have more than one unique key. Is that fine? Okay, let me drop this table city new, and I create this table again, but with a little different syntax like this. So create table with ID as a primary key, name as varchar, what else? State as again varchar, comma. So after all the columns have been created, this is the second method of creating a unique key. अभी आपको पता चल जाना चाहिए. Once right during column declaration, जब कॉलम बना उसी वक्त डिक्लेयर कर दिया यूनिक लिख कर. Am I right? जब कॉलम बनाया उसी वक्त यूनिक लिख कर डिक्लेयर कर दिया आपने, ओके दिस कॉलम इज अ यूनिक की. The second method which we adopted during primary key creation also, after all the columns have been created, people say constraint, name of the constraints is C1. Okay, C1, whatever name you want to give. What constraint this time it is? No, not primary key, unique key, but which column? Say name. Is that okay? And I want one more unique key, so I write constraint. So this is constraint number 2, which is also a unique key, and this time this constraint is state. Done. Close the table, semicolon, and the table is created. Somebody acknowledge. You clear? Okay, now what happens is, what happens is if I say alter table city new, इस तरह टेबल क्रिएट करने का फायदा क्या होता है? What is the advantage? Hold on, my battery is low here. My battery is low. My mobile phone will switch off. Anyways, okay, what is the advantage? Suppose I say alter table city new, and I say drop unique keys. You're getting my point. Your drop, it's refusing to run. No, there's no syntax error here. It's refusing to run, but there are so many unique keys. Is that okay? Now, since you have created them by your names, now look. So alter table city new, drop constraint. What is the name of that constraint? C1. There is no unique key called as C1 now. You have to cross check by entering duplicate city names, people. You got my point? उसने डिलीट किया इसका मतलब आपको क्रॉस चेक करना पड़ेगा एक बार whether two unique names are allowing or not. If it is still not allowing, means the column is still accepting unique data only, right? So that part I leave it up to you, keeping time constraint in mind, everyone. Right, so this is the advantage. Primary key ये method से delete हो गया because primary key was only one, but other keys can be more than one. A table can have more than one foreign key. A table can have more than one unique key. So if you're writing the query this way to alter the table and drop them, so either all of them are dropped or there is an error. Both of them are risky for us, correct? या तो सभी को डिलीट कर डाला या तो उसने एरर प्रोड्यूस किया. So both the cases were actually risky for us. Therefore, prefer this method of creating constraint in the end by naming them so that we can easily call upon. Is that fine? कुछ और कर लो चलता. Is that fine, everybody? Somebody keep acknowledging me in the chat section, guys. You're understanding or not? Likewise, if I say drop the constraint C2, so it has been dropped. Is that okay? So even this constraint has been dropped. Right? So we understood primary key, we understood unique key, we understood how to alter the table to declare them. This way you can also alter the table by adding the unique key later, correct? Suppose I forgot a particular column was, I forgot it should have been, why it is not a unique key, I forgot that. I forgot to define that column as a unique key. You can even alter that later. How? Help. Okay, now there is no constraint C1, C2 here. That means name and state are no longer unique, correct? ये अभी यूनिक नहीं है तो इनको बाद में ऑल्टर करके यूनिक बनाइए. They are no longer unique data now. They are no longer unique key constraint in the table. So alter this table again and make them both unique one more time. How should I do that? Okay, so alter table, what was that? City new. Okay. Alter table city new, add constraint. Say name of the constraint C1, P1, whatever you want to give. I'm writing U1. What type of constraint this is? This constraint is a unique key constraint. Which column of that table you want to be unique key and to be called by the name U1? Say name column, and it is done. Is that okay? What was my last point of discussion? In case if you want to alter a table by declaring some column to be a unique key, correct? Yes, of course, you can modify also. Alter table ct new, modify name as unique key, name varchar as unique key. Okay, somebody write yes or no in the chat section. Hurry up, I'm waiting. Is the concept of unique key and primary key clear? जल्दी जल्दी बोलो people, जल्दी जल्दी बोलिए. युवराज, आयुष, अंशु, Crown Brothers, Abhishek. Is this concept of unique key and primary key clear? Table can have more than one primary key. I'm sorry, more than one unique key. But the primary key can be only one. Okay, we use alter table query to add to add primary key unique keys later, to delete them or maybe to modify them. Of course, modifying by adding only. Okay, good. Okay, now suppose I create a table. Good, thank you. Okay, I'm creating a table like this. Okay, create table. For example, table name is food. And in this table, I keep a list of all the food items which we sell. We have a restaurant. Assume this is a data table in the database restaurant. So what I do, food ID and food name. Okay, food name, which is again varchar. Let me say of the size 10. Insert into food values. Say food number 1, and for some reason name I don't want to enter, so I write the constant null. इसको quotes में मत लिखना, नहीं तो it will be considered as a string. This will become a data, people. So when this word is written without quotes, it's a constant called as null. It won't enter any data in that column for that particular row. Okay, it won't enter any data in that column for that one particular row. Null. Enter number 2, food number 2. Okay, for example, burger. Okay, so select star all the rows from table food. Okay, I don't want this to happen. Okay, I don't want this to happen means I don't want I don't want to allow that data in any column of this table should be null. Okay, so what I do right now, let me alter this. Alter table food. This is going to raise one issue. ये query एक error देने वाला. Try to understand. Modify name, which is varchar, as not null. Okay, not null means null values are not allowed. That is called as not null. Is it right? But when it tried to modify this, it says अरे मुझे तो null value मिला यहाँ पे. If I make this column to be not null, तो इसका पहले वाले का क्या करूँ? So first of all, you make sure that there is no data that is null, or let me delete everything. Okay, this simply deletes the data from the table. Not delete the table, उसके लिए drop use करना पड़ेगा. So let me alter the table food. I'm altering the table food, people. Look, altering the table food by modifying the column name as not null. I hope you got my point here. Is that okay? Enter. Table altered. Now you try to insert that query. Food number 1 and the name is null. Name is null. Sorry, you cannot insert null here. This is giving an error who successfully executed last time. Correct? This query successfully executed last time, but now it is telling you error. Why? Because it is not null. Then how to define a column as not null right during definition? Who will help? How to define a column as not null? Say create table, food new, food id, which is integer. Primary key by default is not null, because if you declare a column as a primary key, it will automatically not accept null values. कॉलम इफ इट इज अ प्राइमरी की ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट नल वैल्यू. तो यहाँ पर तुम्हें नॉट नल लिखने की अलग से ज़रूरत नहीं है. यू डोंट हैव टू एक्सप्लिसिटली राइट नॉट नल फॉर प्राइमरी की. या एनी अदर कॉलम ऑफ द टेबल इफ यू डोंट वांट देम टू एक्सेप्ट द नल वैल्यूज, then right, so this is name, which is a string, and this is also defined as not null. Okay, otherwise that second method always exists after all the columns have been created. Constraint, name of the constraint, type of the constraint, say not null, and which column you want in the bracket. Correct? Everybody here. Fine. So the table has been created. Check whether it is allowing the name to be null. So insert into food new. Food new. Values, say food number 1, null, semicolon. No, you cannot insert null. You cannot insert null because this column has been declared as to not accept nulls. Correct? आयुष पहले ही बता दिया ना. When the lecture started, that time only I showed you how many types of constraint are there. Okay, see, I wrote while in the beginning of the lecture only. Primary key, foreign key, unique key, null, not null, default, and check. Is that okay? Everybody, now suppose I want to alter this table. This is not accepting null value. Everyone, last 5 minutes. This is not accepting null value. I want to alter this table so that name column can once again start accepting null value. I want name column once again to start accepting the null values. So in that case, what can you do? Alter table. Food new. Modify name, which is varchar, as null. You understood? Not null means it will not allow null. When you write the constraint null means it will start allowing nulls. Got it? I hope you got my point. Everybody here? Fine, so it will not allow you to be null. Is that okay, ma'am? You're not go. Oh, okay, ma'am, sir or ma'am, whoever you are, I will try my best so that I can be good at teaching. Is that okay? Tote Kozuhiro, you're from which country? I would be glad if I could come to know if you write you're from which country. Thank you for your feedback. I will try my best to be good at teaching. Okay? And I apologize in case if you don't understand my local language here. Take it. Others? Others are also aren't understanding? Somebody could you say yes or no? Null or not null concept is clear? Fast people, put in yes or no, otherwise I can come to know. Take care. Fine, so when you write not null, it won't allow the null values. When you write null, simple, it will start allowing the null values. I hope you got my point. Fine, acha. Now sometime it happens that, people, I'm waiting for a response in the chat section. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Others, please let me know if you're understanding or not. Let me know in the chat section. I would be glad. ठीक है. Now, suppose I create a table. Check. Okay. I create a table. Name of the table is suppose. What should I create a table as? Okay, subject table. Or let me say table which is books. Okay. Say ID. Every book has some unique ID. This column I would like to be a primary key. And name column which is a string here. Is that okay? Fine. Here I write, let me see who understand. Okay, what you came to know through this? Like, what could you understand from that? Okay, so create table books. This table is created with two column ID and name. The first column is a primary key. Second column is not primary or a unique key, but there is some value that I have entered as default, that is C++. Now what my OBS studio has been reconnected. People, I'm audible to you, right? Hello, people, I'm audible to you, correct? Okay, let me know in case if I'm not audible. Right, so insert into this books, this particular column, खाली एक ही column में आपको अगर data insert करना है तो what I spoke in Hindi was this point. If only in one column of the table you want to insert the data, then please mention the name of that column. Right, so insert into the table book only this one column ID, value as 1. I'm not inserting anything in the second column. Right, what you have expected that second column will then have null or something, but see what happens when I say select star from books. Although for book number 1 I did not enter the name, but still I could find the name C++ here. Okay, so that is how default works. If you want to set by default some name or some value in the column or some default data of that particular column, is that fine? I hope you're understanding it. Everybody fine, right? So in case if I go to insert one more row, that's row number 2, but I do not insert the book name again. Okay, so let me say select star from books. One, that is C++, second, that is again C++. This is how default is working. So in case if you don't enter any data in that particular column, the default will always take the string or the numeric data, whatever you have declared in the definition of that column by its own. Okay, write to me in the chat section, people. You understood the concept of default, everyone? My friend, you don't waste your time attending the session here. Who is this Tato Kazuhiro? Is that okay? Let me waste my time. You don't waste your time attending my session, please. Okay? Chaliye. Thank you anyways for being here and for posting us something as a comment. Thank you for that. Anybody? Okay, fine. So we understood the concept of default. Default is a constraint. We understood the concept of primary key. Primary key is a constant. Constraint, people. We understood the concept of unique key. Even unique key is a constraint. Everyone fine? Okay, I have another connected session, so I need to wind off this class here only. Tomorrow when I meet you back, कल का क्या काम है देखिए. We will learn the concept of a foreign key. First of all, what are foreign keys, people? After that we'll go for check. You want to see check is very interesting. Look, I show you in small example. Say I create a table, vote. Okay, this table has ID column, which is a primary key, name of the person who is coming to cast the vote, and say some age, which is again an integer. But here itself I'm using this constraint check whether age is greater than 18 or not. So only if it is greater than 18, this constraint will make sure it is allowed in the row, it is allowed in the record of that table. If the data you are entering in this column is not greater than 18, then this constraint will become a hurdle and it won't allow the data to be accepted. So let me terminate this. I say enter. What happened? Okay, primary key is missing. Table is created. Insert into vote table this particular values. Say number 1, ID number 1. This guy is John. His age is say 35. Number 2, this fellow is Johnny. His age is 57. Got it. Third one is Mr. Wilson. His age is not 57 but 17. No. So check constraint is violated here because right at the time when this column was defined, you impose this constraint on it. As per the definition, it won't allow the data in the column which is not more than 18. Is it okay? So only if the age is greater than 18, this column will accept the data inside. Otherwise, it will not accept. Is this constraint clear? Everybody? I could see some of them here. Crown Brothers, Tetio, Kazuhiro, Priya, Ayush, Abhishek, and others. No, there is no group. Group was the same. Crown Brothers, that group was the same. Code Ark, if you have remembered. Alright. Fine. Let me in the chat section, people. I'm going to wind off the class in some time. Hurry up. ठीक है चलो. So let me give you a quick recap what we have learned today. We started from constraint. Constraints are like imposing some rules upon the column or data in that column. First constraint which we learned today was the primary key. Primary keys are unique data in the table. It allows only unique data. Primary key can be auto-generated, something that I showed you yesterday using sequences and triggers. But a table cannot have more than one primary key. So if you want more unique information about the person and primary key doesn't allow to be more than one, you can go for the next type of constraint, which is a unique key. Because if primary key in the table is only one, unique keys can be more than one. And it also allows only unique data. But the major difference is unique key can also allow you the null values, which primary key otherwise don't. Is that okay? You can create a combination of unique key and not null. Like this. Say create table. Okay, table name is student id, which is integer. Say this is a primary key. Name varchar, this is unique key, but I fear, I doubt this column, although it is unique, but it will still allow the null values. So what I can do in that case, I write here not null. Okay, yes, you can make a unique key which will accept not null values. So two in one kind of work that almost a primary key does, you can achieve it. Okay, somebody say yes or no. Are you understanding? Okay, so this is what we learned with unique key. After that, I went to explain you what is the concept of null and not null. By default, the null values are allowed. If you don't want any column to accept the null values, you can write the constraint name as not null. Of course, you can alter the table everywhere later to add, delete the constraints, correct? Fine. We learn what is the default constraint. If you want to insert some default values in the column, write while defining the column. The way I inserted the subject name as C++, right, while creating the column of the table. And check constraint is like if you want to impose a rule to check certain condition, only if the condition is true, the data in that column will be accepted. Okay, foreign key is left for the class today. Foreign key will go on with the next session. We will next class. Foreign key अगली class में करेंगे along with group by and joins. So this will be the content of the next session. That is group by will learn joins along with the today's pending topic, which is a foreign. Is that fine? That's all from my side. Please keep learning, studying, practicing. I shall come up with more good content here. Let's see how the best we can work to help the coding community out to be better. Okay, goodbye and happy weekend. Okay, one more important thing, Saturday Sundays we don't have any of these YouTube sessions. Right, I'll meet you back on Monday. Take care.